Yeah, how's it going, YouTube? Right. I know that it's been not only brought to my attention, but I'm well aware of it. I know my emotions all over the place, and I'm not gonna tell you my whole life story. I definitely don't want to go into everything right now. However, yeah, I'll go 2 years back. Right, so 2 years ago, I couldn't afford to leave Laos, and my dad was on his deathbed, and my sister-in-law borrowed me a certain amount of cash, like it was $2,000, and yeah, obviously I wanted to go and see my dad before he passed. So I took the money and I went home. My dad didn't even recognize me when I was back. I think he did for a split second, but I'm not entirely sure. Because by the time I got back home, his mind was already gone. Anyway, it wasn't long. I think it was about 2 weeks after getting back home. We were forced to make a decision because my dad was in an insane amount of pain. He'd been in agony for months. I didn't fucking know about anything. But obviously, when I got back home, I found out and I knew exactly what the story was. And my dad was never a smoker. He never did anything of the kind, which is why I am faithful to these fuckers. Because it doesn't fucking matter. Do or don't, you're gonna fucking die. Anyway, so after my dad's funeral, I was, I can't remember exactly how many days after. But my uncle, whom my dad had supported for his entire life, he was over for a visit, obviously there for my dad's funeral, and unfortunately, I had only found out about everything afterwards. Okay, sorry, screaming dark for a moment there. I'd only found out afterwards from my best mates at the time. I don't even know what's going on with him at the moment, but anyway, that's besides the point. He told me that my uncle had badmouthed my mum, saying, "I know she's a gold digger," and yeah, she's the reason my dad never made anything of his life, and he was supposed to be the next big thing. Which, in all honesty, I genuinely feel my dad was one of the most brilliant men who ever lived. I don't know enough people to say, okay, he's the smartest, or he was the smartest man on the planet, but he was way up there. Anyway, yeah. I've been dealing with a lot of emotional trauma, and my uncle, that very same fucker, I'd say, yeah, no, okay, I can take my fucking mental issues and fuck off. I'd already left South Africa years before in order to escape all of the bullshit that's happening over there. Not knowing that I had such little time with my dad left. And in all honesty, if I knew, I would rather have stayed home and spent the time with my dad. But okay. There's no going back, no crying over spilled milk. But I had come back to Laos. It took me 2 odd years to pay back the debt that I owed my sister-in-law, who was in the US. And yeah, thankfully I managed to do that. However, in the meantime, I'm now unemployed and unable to support my family. My wife is busy keeping us afloat at the moment. Now, obviously, I'm not happy about anything going on at the moment. But yeah, I'd gone from teaching, where I used to love it. The first time I went to China, I really felt like, okay, no, this is what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to be. However, after getting to Laos, I'd lost all of my love for teaching. Obviously, I'd still teach if I had the opportunity. However, everyone feels my lack of love for the profession. So it's not conducive to being able to keep a job or keep kids interested. And honestly, I fucking hate kids now. And to be honest, I really don't like this country much. So yeah, I'd gone from teaching to managing a hotel for a while. However, unfortunately, I got stuck with a Chinese employer, and okay, Chinese employers in general aren't great. However, here in Laos, every single freaking business in the area, either it's owned by Chinese or a local, but either which way, you are with spit. And being in a communist country, you know exactly how little you are worth to the nation. I've been trying to apply for the program to join a society in the US because I am an Afrikaner. My dad's side of the family are English, my mom's side is Afrikaans. But unfortunately, apparently, the law requires me to be back in South Africa in order to apply for the program, which I have never mind no financial means of going back. I have no intention of going back because I tried to escape everything about the place, and well, here I am. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be here in terms of this planet and this life. Although I haven't given up all hope yet, I'm still trying my best to get in touch with fellow YouTubers in order to try and at least make a living this way. But at the moment, I'm not earning anything from this. I've got 26 subscribers and haven't got any financial means to continue what I originally started. And in the meantime, I'm just literally staying afloat, but it really doesn't feel like anything's worth it. Anyway, yeah. Obviously there's quite a bit more to the story, but I just don't feel like sharing right now. But that is the most recent, and I don't know which way to turn at the moment. All I can say is I hope for better. I always have and always will. But I've been running on fumes for ages, and I don't know how much longer I can. But I'll keep going as long as I can. Peace.